RetroSensei!
You're listening to RetroSensei podcast.
You're listening to episode 4 of the RetroSensei podcast, D23. All right, and thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the RetroSensei podcast. I'm Chris, the RetroSensei, and as always, I have with me Short from AbilityPower.com. Short, how are you doing this time?
Doing good.
Good, great. Well, there's some interesting things to talk about for this episode. We'll go ahead and start with something that I know is going to be close and dear to you, and that is the big Disney shindig that went down a few days ago. What's it called?
D23.
23. Now, I don't know. I'm kind of out of the loop with this whole D23 thing. Is this like an annual convention that they have? Is this the 23rd? Is that what that means?
It happens every year. It's at the Anaheim Convention Center, which is right across the street from Disneyland. So, perfect placement.
I see. Well, tell me, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what they've announced this year. Anything that's relevant and interesting to you?
A lot of it is things that have been rumored for a while, but we got, they verified this is coming and gave us some more details. And the biggest thing I think that our listeners would be just gung-ho about is we're getting 2. Count them 2 Star Wars lands. One in Florida and one in California.
I heard about that. Now, I had heard, like you said, there had been rumors about this for quite a while. I had heard rumors months ago to the extent that the new Millennium Falcon that they built for these new movies, when they're done with the movies, they're actually moving that ship that they built to Disney World so people could go on walkthroughs and things of that nature. I don't know if that's true, but I believe they made some announcements somewhat similar to that. There'd be some kind of a Millennium Falcon attraction now. Is that right?
Well, they said that one of the new experiences you could have was to pilot the Millennium Falcon. Now, I don't know if they meant it as in it's going to be like a full-on ride, or if it's just, something you can go, like you said, and walk through, and maybe you'll get a chance to sit in it.
But how cool would that be to walk up the ramp, go into the little passenger chamber with the chessboard, or sit down in the cockpit? God, that would be incredible.
A few years ago, they had the Star Wars exhibit that went around to different museums, and it went to Huntsville, Alabama, at the Space Museum. And we went, and one of the things they had there, you could roll up in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and they had screens up, and I think it was C-3PO taught you about something. I was too geeked out to even know what he was trying to teach me. But if they had that on a big scale, that'd be amazing.
Now, they have some Star Wars-related things at Disney World and Disneyland now, don't they?
They have Star Tours, which is a ride that has 3 different endings. There's a Rebel Spy pick that's in the ride each time. So you may be the Rebel Spy if you ride it.
I see. That's kind of cool. I don't think they've announced it, but there's one thing that would absolutely get me down to Florida, to Disney World, if I knew they had it down there. How cool would it be for them to have a restaurant that is the cantina? Laid out, music, everything, little alien models everywhere. How incredible would that be?
That's one of the rumors that's been floating around.
I feel bad for any employees that work there and have to hear that music for 8 hours straight. I love the cantina music, but it would get old every day, 5 days a week for 8 hours.
Let's just hope that if the band is there, it's animatronic, And there's not people that stand there for 8 hours and, over and over.
But I tell you what, if that is a reality, if there is a cantina restaurant you can go to, I will meet you there. How about that? We will arrange a get together there. For sure.
Man, they already had they already have Star Wars weekends, which is a big every weekend in May, and I think like the weekend before it or whatever, and they do this big Star Wars thing. Stars from Star Wars, the animated, the movies, the whole universe, come for the parades. And this year they had a breakfast, Star Wars breakfast. And, I mean, they had some of the, Star Wars type food. They themed it. And I was like, I bet they're working on the restaurant ideas.
That's great. I can't wait. I hope it's true. I hope it happens. I'll be there ASAP for that.
Oh,
that would be
definitely.
Incredible. When I was a kid, the cantina was always one of my favorite. I mean, that was like one of my favorite parts about the original movie, is going into hearing that crazy music, all those weird, funky-looking aliens. It blew my mind as a kid, and that one scene is what really sucked me in, and I guess you could say that is what totally hooked me on Star Wars at such a young age. It's incredible, and I'd love to be able to go there and eat there. But, for the lack of a better term, it'd be awesome.
It's going to be 14 acres in Florida alone, so... 14
acres?
Yeah,
really?
It's going to be... They're putting the full Disney effort into it.
Wow. Now, I had heard, and this is... I hope I'm wrong about this, but a lot of that, they're getting rid of some of the Tomorrowland attractions, or part of Epcot for some of that stuff, is that right?
No. It's at Hollywood Studios.
Okay. So they're keeping all that old stuff, but they're just, I guess, expanding to it.
Well, they are doing away with stuff at Hollywood Studios, though. They're getting rid of, I think it's I know they've already got rid of the Animator's Courtyard, and that's going to be part of the Star Wars attraction.
I see.
And I want to say maybe Indiana Jones, and I know Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Playground.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to miss that.
No, there were some things like everybody was terrified the Muppets were gone, but the Muppets are still there. So
gotcha.
Maybe they're gonna, make everybody happy.
Well, that's great. I mean, they really can't go wrong because, Disney gets a lot of traffic from certain types of people now, mostly families with young children. But you've got older Disney fanatics like you and, people who just grew up and have that sense of nostalgia that want to go see Disney. But now, with something like this, I think they're really sort of catering to a whole other sort of market. Now they're going to be bringing new types of people into the theme parks who may not necessarily have wanted to go. Of course, I have children, so, I mean, a trip to Disney is something that is going to happen eventually anyways. But if I was a single guy who had no children, I would want to go to Disney now to see the Star Wars stuff. I have no desire to go otherwise, but now I would want to. And so, they're brilliant. It's money. They know how to make money, let's just say.
I think they probably saw the success that Star Wars Weekends has, because, from what I've never been, because it's during May and it's never been a good time, but from what I've read, it is completely packed during the Star Wars Weekends. So I think they're seeing the idea that, hey, a lot of people love Star Wars, and it's the huge fans that are coming. So why not, give them a world?
Absolutely. And speaking of, still sticking with Disney and Star Wars, something else they talked a little bit more about at D23, I believe, is they gave some more details to the new Battlefront game. I've been watching this really closely. Like I said, I think I've told you before, in the past, I've just not had a lot of luck with Star Wars games. PC, console games, doesn't matter. Some of them have been pretty cool, but I've just never really fallen in love with one like some people have. Like my youngest son, he loves Knights of the Old Republic, the single-player game, not the MMO, but just Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. He loves those games, and I know that the previous Battlefront games have had a really big fan following, but I don't know why, I just never really paid them much attention. But this new game is looking phenomenal. I know you talked about, I think you guys are planning on getting it day one.
Oh, yeah.
I am, and they've just announced, or they just confirmed, I should say, that there'll be a free episode of downloadable content available shortly after release that features the battle, or features a battle that is sort of a prequel to Episode 7, called the Battle of Jakku. That's a new desert planet from the movie. I can't wait for this game, and the fact that they've confirmed multiplayer, co-op play, as well as PvP type of stuff. It looks great. I cannot wait for this title. Now the question is just, how am I going to get it? Is it going to be PC? Am I going PlayStation 4? How do I want to experience it? That I don't know. Have you given any thought to it? You said you plan on getting it. Do you know what platform you guys are thinking about playing this on?
PlayStation 4.
Okay, great. So you do have a PS4 then. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we're big into the whole Battlefield Kingdom. I mean, we've liked them since they even put out this little like Battlefield 1942. So it's like a $15 game at one time, and we played it just non-stop. So we're really big fans of Battlefield, and to see them take that and put Star Wars in it, can't wait.
That's going to be great. Now, sort of drifting away from Disney and Star Wars for a bit, we had talked last week about MMOs, and I remember you saying that shortly after our podcast was ending, Blizzard was going to drop an announcement in just a day or two. And from what I understand, that actually happened. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, we got our new expansion.
Got a new expansion. What is this, the 5th expansion for World of Warcraft?
The Burning Crusade, Wrath, Kata, Pandas, Draenor. This will be number 6.
Number 6? Wow, okay. Well, what can you tell me about the new expansion?
Well, it's called World of Warcraft Legion. I always laugh because every expansion, there's all these about a week before time, these spoilers come out. There's a leak. And this year, everyone was dead set. We were going to the 7 Seas. It's going to be pirate themed. Everything.
Yeah, there was I remember seeing a fake cover art for the new expansion under a different name. Did they leak that on purpose?
I don't know if they did, but that was totally off base.
If they did, it was brilliant, because then they could zing you with the real thing.
Oh, we're going to be fighting the Burning Legion, which has been this enemy that just keeps coming back over and over, ongoing battle.
What's the release date for this going to be?
It's going to be early next year. The financial report came out, and Warcraft has lost a lot of subs, and the report read that it would be out by the end of the year, and there is no way with the way that they beta test. But someone pointed out that if it comes out in Q1 of next year, and they pre-sell it before the end of this year, it counts financially.
I see, in the fiscal year.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're probably looking at early 2016.
But at this point, I assume there's no real details as far as content, new battle systems, or
there's a lot.
There is.
They came to the announcement and brought the trailer. They brought video of zones that they're working on. They've got we're getting a new continent called the Broken Isles. There's going to be a new class to play called Demon Hunter. They gave details about it. We're going to get artifact weapons. So say, did you play enough to know, like, who... You know the Lich King, right?
Yes.
Alright. You can wield Frostmourne.
Really?
Yes. They're going to have... It has to be a weapon that is from a big person in lore, an important weapon from an owner that has lost their will or has died, I think. It's how they left it in the air. But the interesting thing is, some of the weapons that we're getting, the owners are still alive and well. So, between now and then, there's probably going to be some changes to the Warcraft lore.
But still no Sword of 1,000 Truths.
Not yet.
Actually, I heard they made one for somebody once, didn't they?
I think...
some kind of special circumstance or something like that?
Yeah, I think it may have been in shortly or something like that.
It's like a Make-A-Wish thing or something, wasn't it? I can't remember.
I can't either.
I thought I had heard a rumor. That's funny. In case listeners aren't familiar with what we're talking about, it's a joke from the infamous episode of South Park where they play World of Warcraft. A classic episode of South Park.
Oh, the best episode.
Well, awesome. As you know, I don't actively play World of Warcraft, but I always like to keep an ear out on what's going on in the world of MMOs. And I know, like you said, that WoW has recently seen a lot of drop in subscriptions, and that's, for a number of reasons. The MMO field of competition is just, insanely large these days. Every other day there's a new MMO, and a lot of them are free to play, or use some sort of alternative, pricing model. And these old games like WoW, they're starting to take a bit of a hit, but things like this, I think, can help keep the game fresh. Do you think ultimately, though, we'll get an announcement of World of Warcraft 2 at some point in the future?
I don't know. They've announced many times that they have a couple of expansions already lined up. So I guess it just depends on...
And they enhanced the graphics with the last expansion a bit, didn't they?
Majorly. We got new animations, everything. Nighttime is darker. You can walk through grass and it sways. So they're
keeping it modern?
Yeah, they're definitely upgrading it.
That's awesome. Well, that's good to know. Good to know. As far as gaming stuff goes, or gaming-related news, that's pretty much all I had on the agenda really to discuss this episode. It's been sort of a slow 2 weeks, but next week, or next episode, I should say, we'll have plenty to talk about, I'm sure, with PAX coming out. So what I wanted to do instead is try a little something new on this episode, since, in theory, the podcast and RetroSensei.net itself is not strictly a video game site, but more of a general nerd culture site. I thought we could talk a little bit about nerdy things that we have done or worked on or have been interested in this week. Anything at all that would qualify. No limit, of course. So let me ask you short. Since the last episode, what nerdy activities have you found yourself in the middle of?
I have to say, I've been busy with the Disney stuff and just trying to keep up with the information that was coming out. So I'm a big Disney nerd. And just because, they had the Star Wars, but they announced like a ton of other stuff. And gaming.
They sure did. Even, like I said, I'm not a huge Disney fan per se. Of course, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so now I guess I am. But when it comes to just traditional Disney type of things, I don't usually pay that much attention. But you couldn't miss that news this week. It was everywhere. Everywhere I turned, they were talking about D23.
Oh, yeah. Lots of big stuff.
It was the first time I had even heard of the convention. But now I have a feeling it's going to be something that's going to be on my radar from now on.
Oh, you're going to have to with that Star Wars. Lots of stuff coming up.
Oh, you just reminded me, actually. One other piece of news that sort of came out of that D23 that is Star Wars related is they gave plenty of details about that first anthology movie. Did you see some of that? Rogue One is the name of the film?
I saw it. I read more about it. They showed the cast picture, I think.
Mm-hmm. And there's some pretty impressive names in that cast. People that I wouldn't expect to see in a Star Wars movie. I think I saw Forrest Whitaker's name in there. I don't remember the last time I saw him in anything, except for, I think, Good Morning Vietnam, maybe. But it's a name I'm familiar with. This movie, when they first announced it, I was like, okay, Rogue One, what is that? I immediately was thinking about X-Wing pilots, and I was thinking it might be an X-Wing movie. But as it's turned out, this is a movie that takes place before Episode 4, chronologically, and it's about how the Rebel Alliance manages to acquire and steal the plans for the Death Star. And as more details about this film have come out, it looks really cool. It has a very realistic look to it, sort of a, I don't want to say like I don't want to really say Mad Max type of look, but very gritty, very dirty. Everybody looks weathered and tired. It doesn't look like it's going to be all shiny and spectacular like you tend to see in a lot of science fiction movies these days. I'm real curious to see how this band of people end up, acquiring the Death Star. Are they rebels? Are they bounty hunters? What's the deal? It's going to be fantastic, and I'm super excited about this movie.
Yeah, I actually can't wait for more news about it.
And, I mean, the movie itself was only announced just, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago, but it looks like they've already made some major progress on it. I mean, they're filming it now. And I have seen pictures that of, like, aerial photos. People are flying over the movie sets and snapping pictures. Yeah, I saw some guys in old school stormtrooper outfits, like leaning up against a wall smoking cigarettes, on their break or whatever. And there's these airplanes flying over them with these zoom lenses.
Wow.
These poor guys can't get a break. But it's such a great time to be a Star Wars fan now, because there's a movie coming out every year. Thank you, Disney.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future, they are totally doing a Marvel Cinematic Universe style thing here. Just every time you turn around, there's going to be another movie.
I feel like it's everywhere, too. I mean, they're coming to the theme park. It's coming. There's a new cartoon series, Star Wars Rebels, right?
Yes. The first season is already complete, and the second season starts very shortly.
So, I mean, they're just covering all their bases with it.
Yep. So, nothing else geeky for you other than following up on the Disney news?
That, no, only gaming. Meet with Legion coming out. I'm awful about not keeping up with my lore in Warcraft. So we're watching the trailer, and I'm sitting there going, okay, who's that? Okay, why is he doing that? Oh, that's him. So
I'm sure there's a ton of Warcraft books out there.
Oh, yeah, I've got some of them. I haven't made it through all of them, and I really don't know what order some of them come in. So
I've read a few. The one that I remember really enjoying. I was not a huge Warcraft fan, but I just love to read. There was a book, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's all about Thrall and his origins. And it's written by Christy Golden, is the name of the author. Oh, what is the name of that book? But I remember reading it and really enjoying the story, but I was also really just enthralled with sort of her style of writing. And I had never read anything of hers before, and I hadn't read anything of hers since until very recently. I'm reading the most recent Star Wars novel that came out. It's called Dark Disciple, and she wrote this as well.
I didn't know she wrote that one.
Yes. This is a weird book because I really didn't think I was going to like it. I like a lot of Star Wars literature, but I tend to like the things that are about characters that I'm more familiar with. I like books about Luke Skywalker or books about the Emperor and Vader and things like that. And this book that just came out it focuses on 2 characters from the Clone Wars cartoon, which I watched, but I didn't particularly enjoy that much. I mean, there were some really good episodes at the end of the series before it was canceled that were excellent. In fact, the series just generally got better as it went on. But this book is written off of scripts from unaired episodes, scripts that were written but never completed.
Oh, wow.
And from what I'm about 3/4 of the way through the book, and it was good for the first half, but it got amazing starting about halfway through. And it kills me to think that this could have been on TV. What I'm reading here is fantastic stuff. Like, I just want to, as soon as we hang up tonight, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and finish this book. Fantastic stuff. I don't really care much about the characters, or I had never cared about the characters that the book focuses on until now. So this author, I'm going to have to look and see what else she's put out, because she has an amazing writing style that just draws me in. It's fantastic. And like I said, to this day, I remember that the story I read, the Warcraft novel that she wrote. Let me look that up, because that's killing me. But it was all about Thrall and where he comes from, and his origins, and it was just really awesome. And if you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it.
She wrote the one about Arthas too, which I did read, and it was amazing, and it made me enjoy the expansion, I think, a lot more than I would have, because I got that backstory and that just huge dose of lore.
Yeah, Lord of the Clans, that's the name of the book. Lord of the Clans. It came out in 2001, so it actually is a pre-World of Warcraft. I guess 2001, that would have been around Warcraft 3, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the story, basically, of Warcraft 3.
Yeah, because in this book, I remember it discussing him being a slave and, breaking or escaping bondage and becoming the new war chief. Fantastic book. If you don't have it, or if you've never read it, I'm going to have to get a copy to you. Do you have a Kindle?
I have the Kindle reader on my computer. Awesome.
Well, whenever you're ready to sit down and read something, let me know, and I'll gift that to you, because it's a fantastic book.
All right. Do they still have this book sharing thing on Kindle?
I don't know. I don't know if they do or not.
What if, we'll have to look it up.
We'll check into that. I don't have a Kindle copy of this book.
Oh, gotcha.
But because I had the paperback. But I do know that I can send. You can gift people novels and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely recommend it. In fact, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this book that I'm reading now in a day or two, because next month there is no less than 4 Star Wars novels coming out.
Wow.
There's the regular novel that is like a bridge between episode 6 and 7, but then there's 3 smaller young adult novels, which, that doesn't really mean children's books anymore, because Harry Potter and Hunger Games and all of those are considered young adult. But I think they're shorter. I think they're 200 pages or less. So yeah, I've got a lot of reading to do for next month, for sure. And of course, I always review those or share my thoughts on those books on the website too. So look forward to that if you guys are curious about is the book worth your time or not. I'll definitely give you my opinion on it.
Especially if it's Star Wars related.
Especially if it's Star Wars related. When I started RetroSensei.net, the idea was originally just to talk about geeky things, but of course video games kind of took over for a long time. But I am trying to diversify the site a little bit, talk about Star Wars, comic books, and other things like that. In fact, I was keeping up with your site over the last few days, and noticed you had posted about being on the podcast. So that's totally awesome. Totally awesome. Link
so the Ability Power people can find us. Because I feel like I keep missing people when I put it on Twitter, because I have one of my friends listens, and he had no idea. He's like, "Have you recorded another episode yet?" I was like, "Yeah, I put it on Twitter." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't see it."
Yep. You have some, talking about ability powered for a minute, you've got some really awesome insights on your site. Some of the articles you write are interesting, even to someone like me. I'm not disabled, so I can't really say that I understand completely a lot of the struggles that you go through being a gamer and coming across these games that aren't very accessible. But regardless of the fact that I can't really relate, I find the stuff that you write to be fascinating and very insightful, and that's really awesome. And keep up the good work.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I went 3 rounds with Minecraft. I think I've done that since last show.
Minecraft? Well, tell me a bit about that. That's one of my son's favorites.
Okay, so the developer, if you play it on a PC, your mouse is locked to the window, so I can't get to the on-screen keyboard. So when I log into the game, the only thing I can do is dig a hole. Straight down. Or straight in front of me.
I see.
But there's this organization in the United Kingdom called Special Effects. And they've been working on a way to play it with just your mouse. But you need this other piece of software. And they told me, I'd asked them about it. And they said Friday. We will hook you up Friday. And I was so excited. And got the other software that I needed on a trial. And they sent me the files. And I still couldn't get it to work. And it's been so frustrating.
Interesting. Well, now, I don't know. I don't know, so please forgive me if I'm wrong about this, but there is a new beta version of Minecraft available for people running Windows 10, and it's a full-screen version, and I've heard there's a lot of new functionality in this beta version when it comes to navigation. I wonder if maybe they've redesigned the control scheme to sort of fix that problem without the need of third-party software.
Well, I don't. If it has to be played in full screen, then that's going to take on-screen keyboard completely off the table.
Yeah.
So if they would make it click to walk, kind of like you do in Warcraft, or in Star Wars, that's the Old Republic, then I mean that would be perfect. You could walk up and click to dig and move your mouse around to choose what you needed, but.
I don't know. That's interesting. And right now, of course, this new test version is only available for Windows 10 players. But if you have a legitimate Minecraft PC version already, it's free for Windows 10 users. There's no cost for it, and it's available in the little Windows store. So if you guys do upgrade, give that a shot, and hopefully, maybe, like you said, there'll be some click-to-move type of options in it. That'd be pretty neat to find out. I mean, I'm sure you said you've gone rounds with them, so have you given Microsoft, because they own it now, have you given them your feedback on accessibility in Minecraft yet?
I haven't went 3 rounds with Microsoft yet, but I tried when Mojang still had it. I kept posting things and nothing. Of course, there was no response. And then, but the special effects guys, I mean, the program that they have it set up for apparently works perfect if you're using eye tracking, switches, which I just use on my mouse. And I contacted them, and they actually wanted to, access my Windows desktop just to see what was going on. And we did that, and she was like, "What kind of special mouse are you using? Or mouse technology?" I was like, "I'm just using a standard mouse." And she was like, "Oh, well, that would be the problem." So, she said that she would take it back to the guys that worked on this project and see what they could do. But I haven't heard anything yet.
Well, we're going to be in real trouble in a few years because they're making that holographic version of Minecraft. I'm sure you've seen that with a HoloLens, right?
Oh, yeah, I saw it at what, E3?
Yeah, I think that's when they announced it, yeah. Crazy. Minority Report type stuff right there.
I know.
Oh, the future's bright, and it's going to be interesting. But I do hope you get your Minecraft problems sorted out. Like I said, my youngest son loves that game to death.
Oh, I'm going to be so addicted.
He plays it on the Xbox, and he just loves it. And it's a game that I've never... I mean, I know that I would get into it. I have friends that play it and have tried to get me to get into it. But I have so much on my plate already that I know if I took that on, I would never get this backlog that I have a list of clearing done.
Oh, I understand that.
I'd never get it done. In fact, the website, RetroSensei.net, has been slow because I've currently been going through this, what I call the Final Fantasy Initiative. Basically, it's a playthrough of every game in the series. And I'm getting down towards the end because I want to be caught up. So when Final Fantasy 15 comes out, I can buy it day one, bring it home, put it in, and start playing.
There you go.
And, not have it sit on the shelf. And I'm currently playing Final Fantasy 12, and I'm almost done. I've just got a couple more hours left in it, but I'm already 110 hours in on this game. Yeah, 110 hours of playtime.
That is crazy.
It is probably the longest game I've ever played. Until now, the longest one I've played has been Bravely Default, which is another Square Enix role-playing game on the 3DS, and I think I put 90 hours in on that. But wow, I mean, it's a great game, but man, my OCD, or suspected OCD, and wanting to do all this optional content and see and do everything is just killing me. I could have beat this game twice already, but I'm wanting to clear all these hurdles,
Oh, yeah.
And what's going to kill me is I had mentioned on our very first episode that I was hoping during E3 they were going to announce a modern version, a remake of this game, or a remaster, and they didn't. So I kept on playing, and I'm just about finished with it, and the rumors are starting to come back again that this year they're going to announce the remaster of it. And so then I'm going to have to play it all over again just to get the achievements.
Oh, well,
That's me, though. Oh, well. Well, that's pretty much all I really want to discuss this week. I really appreciate your insight on the Disney stuff, because you follow that a lot closer than I did. So thanks so much for teaching me a thing or two about that this time.
Oh, Sensei, you're forgetting one thing that was announced here lately.
Oh, what's that?
The PlayStation 4 Star
Darth
Wars.
Vader edition. Oh, I saw that. I'm trying to forget it because I already
Me
have a PlayStation.
too. I saw it and I was like, no.
I don't need to go buy this. It's awesome. The console itself is amazing looking. Of course, for me, it wouldn't work too well because I keep mine in. I have like an entertainment center, and so there's shelves, and no one would be able to see the top of it. But
I think I'd put spotlights on mine.
It looks fantastic, and I think it's coming with the new Battlefront game, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it's even preloaded with some older Star Wars games.
The original Super Nintendo Star Wars game.
Yes, Super Star Wars I saw was going to be on there. But yeah, man, that's fantastic. That is a nice looking system.
I know, I saw it, and I was just like, oh, I wonder if they would, like, trade mine in on that. Just trade. Fair and square, even.
If they could only find a way to make it breathe when you turn it on.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'd be sold on it. I'd be sold. But yes, I saw that. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Well, did you have anything else that you wanted to mention this week?
That was the only... I forgot about it till right there. I was like, the PlayStation.
Yes. I saw it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Well, in that case, thanks again so much for joining me. I had a lot of fun talking Star Wars and Disney stuff. Next week, next episode, forgive me, we'll probably have a full plate. So, that's right. PAX is always huge.
Oh, yeah. Lots of announcements. Lots of drooling for me and you.
Big time. All right. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you guys.